Hi, welcome to Hunter Gatherer Cooking. I'm going to show you exactly how I made this knife, and on a similar course you could do exactly the same. It starts on a small farm in Ipswich in a forge called Red 5 Forge. Not far from a ruined monastery, on a very cold day, Will sets up and awaits my arrival. I'm on a 2-day course where I'll be making a knife completely from scratch. And I know nothing about knife making. All I know that through each stage Will's going to show me, and then I'm going to repeat the process. If you're interested in this course, you can actually book yourself, and the link will be in the description comments. As always, please hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment on, and I really hope you enjoy this.
My name is Will, and this is Red 5 Forge. I teach woodwork and metalwork during the day, but by night I make knives. No. I made my first knife in 2016. I went on a knife making course with Owen Bush, and it sparked a passion, an interest, a problem. I'm not quite sure what you can call it, but I've been making them ever since. Started as a hobby, but using social media, it really started to develop some interest, and went from there, really. I guess you could say I specialize in pattern welded kitchen knives or culinary knives, but you know, who knows where it'll go. I'm interested in all sorts of knife making. I always thought I would go out and make swords and axes and things like that, but I started doing the kitchen knives, and it's something I really enjoy cooking myself, so I wanted to make knives for my own use. I've known Alex for a couple of years now. I think we started talking during lockdown. I mean, there wasn't anything else to do. I now run courses at Red 5 Forge. There's small classes of 2, maybe 3, and I wanted to get Alex down to have a go. I knew that he would love the process of making knives, albeit it's a lot of work, but he's passionate about knives and his cooking, so I've invited him down as a bit of a guinea pig, and I think he's done all right. I think he's done all right, and we've produced a beautiful piece of work that he will get a lot of pleasure out and hopefully treasure. Alex came to a 2-day knife making course, so we make our own pattern welded steel billet first, and from that he forged his blade, and then you go through to the heat treat and tempering stage, move on to the grinding, and then hand sand and handle up from there. It is achievable in 2 days, but you do have to work. It's not something that, you know, we do have to crack on a bit, but he's done very, very well and produced an absolutely beautiful piece.
So like all good steel knife making, of course it's going to start with some Play-Doh.
If you layer up steel, one on top of the other, they're 2 different types of steel. So you've got 15N20, which, as I said, has got a 2% nickel, 1084, which is a fairly standard high carbon steel. This will come up as very dark or black in a final pattern, but the 15N20 will resist the acid etch more than the 1084 and will remain bright. So you get that very nice contrast. And so you go from this on the outside, which is lines pretty much. So you've taken your horizontal lines with that twist, you've forced them into this axis like that. That in itself is interesting. So if you want that, you can manipulate steel to get that, but it always amazes me, and you know, when you experiment with pattern welding, what goes on just a little bit below the surface.
Jesus Christ.
We used to use these back at school.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. A little bit pressure. Very good. Like poker chips.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay, so go there and there.
That is perfect. What I'm going to do is get that welded up with a MIG welder. Welding.
That was bloody brilliant.
Welding. Yeah, grab the end. I'll put that diagonal because it will.
Oh, I
You
see.
see, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
bring that over here. Turn it round.
Just straight in. There.
When we put them back in the forge, we'll put them underneath those burners, okay? And we're going to do 5 minutes, and then we're going to turn it. I'm going to do mine first, just to show you. I'm going to grab it, going in sideways here, through this little door, and then I'm just going to close it. You can see the steel moving, just a little. And that is now closed. All of those, any gaps between there.
So you want me to do that?
Yes, I do.
Right, now what? So
Through
in
the
here.
window, you're going through the window and then the other way, that's it.
Yeah.
And now gently go down. Just
On the
that's it. This one here. Now back in. Nice and straight. We can then cut that into 3.
Why do we put WD-40 on it?
Okay. Now.
On each piece, or
Yeah, just on the inside. So WD-40, there's a little bit of witchcraft. Now, it helps protect it.
Where am I putting
from
that?
Scale. Just on here.
that's okay, is it?
Yeah, it helps it protect it from scale. Now, I believe it produces, as it burns off, it produces a sort of a hydrocarbon layer.
Right.
But if I'm brutally honest with you, it works. I know it works. First time we did it, the layers were very, very flat. Okay, very smooth because they were machined new stock. This is ground. You can see there's a few gaps here. So I want to protect this from getting any oxygen inside. So whereas the first time we didn't use any borax that melts around it to seal it from oxygen, but we are going to do that this time. So what we're going to do is put it in the forge just for a few minutes to get hot enough for the flux to stick to it. I'll do the sprinkling. You just put it down here, up on its side. I want to get these edges, the joints.
Oh.
That's it. Do a bit more. Okay, turn it over.
So we're just seasoning it.
We are seasoning it. It's a piece
It's basically
of
filler.
Yep.
Poly filler for.
There you go. Yeah, and the welder is a hot glue gun. See, I'm just taking little bites, but those bites are, fairly chunky bites. And what it does is it adds length. Very little width. And this is what we're going to use to take it down. So at the moment, I'm seeing my knife blade come out of this at the end.
Right.
That's sort of where I'm at. So I'm just working it a little bit. It's now too cool. So I'll put it back in there. So I'm aiming to adjust the depth. So push it all the way through. That's it. And then foot to the floor. That's it. Very good. And then, yeah, again.
Like that?
Yeah. 2 or 3. Gently work it. buckling a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to run a heat on it, just try and even it out a little bit. Can you see some of the pattern?
Yeah, I did then. I did. Wow.
Locking it towards my body, and I'm working it back towards the tip, and then up and over a little bit. Then you're on there, centre it. That's it. Good. That's it. Excellent. Excellent. We're doing more. Yeah, carry on. Very good. We're doing more at the front than we are on the top. If we go too much on the top, we're just going to dip it down. But we want. Very good. You are. Basically, you're manipulating the outline to something that you're pretty happy with.
Okay.
Very good. Hold it back. That's it. Here, and that's the sort of thing you were talking about.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
So we forged it. We've got a bevel in. This is nice here because that's a forged. You know.
That's what happened then.
It will generate heat. Yeah. Very good.
So we're going in like that, yeah?
Apply pressure here.
Right.
Quite a lot of pressure on my thumb. Thing up against it. Change it to a new belt now, because we've taken off quite a nice amount of the scale. Still have this slight wobble at the front, but I think that's gonna come. jaggedy arse bits here a little bit. So you can decide what to do with that. You can kind of roll in a bit. It will remove quite a lot, so go gentle. Concentrate here first, and then we can decide on this. You can leave it. It's actually, it's forged. That was the shape it came out at, so you can leave it. You can round it. Some people don't like too sharp a point there because it can catch you out. Kind of rolling in there and then having a look. Because we just want it to be really nice and clean.
Right.
120. Yeah, I like it. And I'm not pushing very hard.
Right.
Change its quality. And what will happen, you'll see there the blue coming, and that will start creeping. And now we've got to let it cool on its own, because if we quench it, we'll harden it again, and we may actually damage it. So we can, okay. So it's got tungsten carbide face on here. So this is much harder than than any steel that we'll be grinding, but it also resists the belts. Have a look at the first pass. Yeah, that's really good. And what we're looking for is to get this grit over the whole blade. So we're going to do a pass right at the bottom. And maybe you should use your thumb. That's it. Great. Nice pressure. Very good. All the way. That's it. And then give it a cool. Have a little look. And now, just really nice. So this part is now all at 220. So let's now lift your thumb up, up another 6 mil. Gently up
right
again.
there?
Yeah, gently up again. Do I really concentrate? Yeah. Carry on. Heats up very quickly. I'm being very mindful that it is very sharp. I'm going to run, you're going to see the end grain, so I'm going to run this way through. So we're going to cut a slot through there. Gently, so I'll tell you what we'll do. It'll be fun and it will look good. We will burn it in. I think it actually cures it a little bit faster if you warm it first, but I'm not sure. It appears to.
Getting it in.
That's exactly it. So let gravity do some work whilst you do up here. So what we do is just gently work around it. And make sure, yeah, good and still in touch. Here. Okay, here we have Alex's piece. You can see the beautiful pattern welded steel blade. It's got a stabilized oak handle that I gather and stabilize myself. Some blackwood for the bolster here. And the steel, there's a real lot going on. You've got some low layers of steel here. The light and the dark are two different kinds of carbon steel. And then in here we've got some really high layer bits that flow in. We were discussing it earlier. It almost looks like sort of like oil on water. So it's a really beautiful piece. The design is his own. It's sort of a butcher's knife style, but it was very much what he wanted to make, and something that he would get a lot of use out of. And I think it's lovely.